All right, how's it going, you absolute weapons? Phillip here. Welcome to the Building Muscle Masterclass. The other week, I did a video inside the membership portal where we discussed the foundations of each particular topic, losing fat and building muscle, and how the foundations are the same, but the order, the hierarchy of importance are different. And so at the end of that video, I asked which one you wanted me to go in more detail with, and building muscle won an absolute landslide. So it's cool. I've got a fair bit to share with you, a lot of information. So yeah, be prepared to take some notes and understand everything to do with this. So then you can incorporate this into your training sessions and actually understand how to build muscle and how it all works. I'm also going to be sharing this on YouTube. So if you're seeing this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and even comment below. Tell me where you're from, a little bit about yourself so we can get to know each other and help build the community that way. So moving into the hierarchy of importance. So yeah, these foundations are foundations, right? They're going to be within living a healthy lifestyle regardless. And then, yeah, obviously, depending on the outcome you want, is going to be different. So number one, building muscle, you're going to have to strength train. If you don't lift weights, then you're going to find a pretty hard time to build muscle. So obviously, that's going to be the top of the hierarchy. Then we've got nutrition and recovery as a close second. And then third, we have daily movement. So a little bit different than if you're trying to lose fat. And yeah, basically like daily movements there to help mitigate fat gain when you're building muscle. It's also there for health purposes. But I'll go through the main one in this video. I'm going to be going through is the strength training, the number one thing. And then, yeah, I'll touch on recovery and nutrition and daily movement as well. But yeah, the main thing that I'm going to be explaining is what you need to do when you're lifting weights. So number one, how to build muscle. Well, there are three requirements when strength training, and that's what's going to allow you to build muscle. So number one, mechanical tension. So this refers to the force created by muscular contraction against an opposing force. Now I'm going to paraphrase here. Ronnie Coleman said something on the lines of, everyone wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one wants to lift heavy ass weights. Now, if you want to build to muscle, you're going to have to lift some heavy ass weights. And why? Well, that helps with the activation of high threshold motor units. So this is done by moving a heavy enough load as fast as possible. However, the load will move rather slowly as we create an involuntary slowing down of the target muscles. So let's say you're doing a squat, for instance, you're going to be focusing on the quad. Your first rep is going to look a lot smoother and a lot easier than your last rep of the set. And if your first rep looks like your last rep, you're not lifting heavy enough. Right. And so you want to feel, or you will notice that slowing down, the involuntary slowing down of that last rep. So yeah, say you're doing say you're doing a set of 5, right? That last rep or your 5th rep, you're going to feel like you're moving the bar a lot slower. So from the bottom of the rep up to the top, it's going to feel like it's going to be a real challenge. And that's what you're looking for. And that's going to allow for us to hit our maximum stimulating reps. So I go through this in the training content inside the membership portal, but simply put, the last 5 reps before muscle failure are stimulating. That is, they are the only reps causing sufficient skeletal muscle hypertrophy, meaning if I had a gun to your head, you're getting as many reps as you possibly could on a set. From that last rep, the absolute failure point and 5 reps back, they're the ones that are stimulating. They're the ones that are causing hypertrophy to occur. If you're not getting to that point, you're wasting your time. And so when we look at maximum stimulating reps, this is a really good framework to work with. And the literature suggests that anywhere between 10 to 40 maximum stimulating reps per muscle per week is what you want to be aiming for. And you can split it up. Say we've got a 3-day split and we're doing a full body split. You can split that up over each of the days, right? And so say day 1 with your A1, your A series, you're doing a heels elevated high bar back squat, and you do 3 sets of 5. That's going to give you 15 maximum stimulating reps. Right? And then on day 2 in your D series, you're doing a leg extension and you do 2 by 7. But remember that only 5 reps are stimulating. So that's 2 by 5, which equals 10 maximum stimulating reps. And on day 3, say your B series, you got front squats, again, quad focused, 3 by 5. That's going to be another 15 maximum stimulating reps. And that's going to give you 40 maximum stimulating reps over the week on quads. Now, it's not to say that you have to hit 40 maximum stimulating reps on your quads. Some people are going to do better with less. It does depend on your work capacity, and it's got to do with fast twitch muscle fibers as well as slow twitch muscle fibers, right? So we're not going to get into that today, but it is something to point out. Now, more reps equals more muscle damage, and muscle damage does not equal muscle growth. It's that's where a lot of confusion lies. And the more damage we create, the longer the recovery, the greater the inflammation, and the harder we work for less benefit. And so when we look at, I created this little image here to help explain it. It's kind of like a little target board. And in the center, we've got 1 to 4 reps. So that's going to cause little muscle damage. 5 to 7, again, not that much. 8 reps, we're starting to get some damage. And then 9 plus 10, 11, 12, you're going to get a lot more damage. And that can keep going. 15 reps, 20 reps, 25 reps, 50 reps, 100 reps. You're going to cause a lot more damage, right? And so the way that I want you to look at this is, if you got paid to do a job, and once the job was complete, you got paid. You could do the job as quickly as you wanted, and you can do the job as long as you wanted, right? Yes, you still need to put the work in. Yes, you need to put the effort in. And yes, there are some rules and parameters that need to be put in place to allow hypertrophy to occur. But to get the job done, like, you can get it done in 8 hours, or you can get it done in 16 hours, but you get paid the same. Like, what would you prefer to do? Right? Obviously, you work the less amount of hours. Doesn't mean you're working less hard. You're probably working harder in those 8 hours, but you're going to get a result. Whereas you work 16 hours, and look, you're probably not even guaranteed to get the job done, because you're probably not hitting the rules that are required for you to actually build muscle. So lower reps are going to be smarter, right? It's the easiest way for me to explain it. I probably didn't explain it too well, but yeah, hopefully you got something from that. Pretty much what I'm saying here is that most people, they'll go and do like 4 sets of 10, for instance, but they're lifting a weight that's like a 15 rep max. So like they could get 4 sets of 15 with that weight, but they're only getting to 10, and they're nowhere near those maximum stimulating reps, right? Wasting their time. Obviously, they're going to get some benefits of movement and blood flow and endorphins and whatever, but they're not creating the environment for muscle to grow. And so when it comes to effective program design, what we want to look at is progression, periodization, training split, training volume, exercise selection, and rest periods. So let us know if you would like to learn this skill inside the Advanced Health membership. So obviously that's the upgraded membership. If you want us to go through that, we can help you build out your own training programs so you have a very good idea on how to build them going forward. So yeah, obviously just let us know below if you want that. So here I've got a graph to help explain progression or progressive overload when you're in the gym. And so on the left-hand side, we've got strength adaptation. This is also to do with like building muscle. And then also on the right, and down the bottom, we've got time, right? And so the green line, that's our maximum adaptation. That's like if all things were perfect, we could hit that, right? And then that's like pretty much going to be impossible for us to get. And yeah, we'd be flirting with hitting a plateau pretty quickly if we did that. And so the blue line is us forcibly slowing our adaptation and setting out our training programs in a way that we can progress nicely without plateauing. And then the red one is plateauing. So basically we're progressing too fast than we should be, right? Which I'll explain in more detail. Example A, say we have 1 set of 5 reps. That's going to give you 1 opportunity to progressively overload, right? And so as you can see, in week 1, we do 1 set, we hit 5 reps at 100 kilos. Week 2, we do 1 set, and then we hit 5 reps at 102.5 kilos. So we've progressively overloaded here. That's what we want. Week 3, we then can't lift any more than 102.5. So we go, all right, let's do 6 reps. And then we're done. Then week 4, we go, all right, well, I still can't lift more than 102.5. And you go to get 7 reps, but you can't do it. You only get 6. And so at some point, adding more weight or reps will be infeasible. So that's the red line. Right, that's here. You progressed too quick for what you can actually progress, right? And so then basically you get to a point where you're going to have to either change the exercise or add more sets in, right? Which is probably going to be the better option. And so we look at example B, we go 3 sets of 5. That's going to give you 3 opportunities to progress the overload. And we're actually doing so at a slower pace now. So we're avoiding us hitting this red line too quickly. And so week 1, we hit all 3 sets at 100 kilos, 5 reps, 100 kilos. And then week 2, we do 100, 100, and then 102.5. Week 3, we then do 100, then 102.5, then another set of 102.5. So we progressed in set 2. And then in week 4, we do the first set of 102.5 and the rest in 102.5 as well. And we progress in week 4. And then week 5, we go to 105 on the end. So we do 102.5, 102.5, and 105. So we progress in the last set. And so we are forcibly slowing down progress, as this allows us to continue for a longer period of time without plateauing. So again, that's this blue line. I want to keep that going for as long as possible. Now, it's 3 sets like the magic number. 2 to 3 sets is pretty good for most people, but we can slow it down even further and go to 5 sets, right? And we can still obviously get 5 to 10% extra benefit in terms of hypertrophy with those extra sets on that lift. So yeah, it doesn't mean we can only do 3 sets. We can definitely do more than that to help slow down progress, because some people will find that they cap out too quickly on 3 sets as well. So the 2 limitations that stop progress, well, number 1 is progressing too quickly. So again, that's what we've gone through here. That's the red line here. We're going too fast, right? And then the other one is not recovering or too much volume. So we're lifting too many sets. So some of you might be doing 5 sets, 6 sets, and then the next week you go, and the next time you do that lift, you can't actually get the weight up, right? And that's the other way around. So then we have to come down in sets. Yeah, so you can go both ways. So that it's where it's like a bit of an art form and understanding your body and where you're at. It's really important to know. All right, and so I've got another graph here. This one is more to do with how much hypertrophy is occurring per set. And now this is a general rule of thumb. It's not an exact science here, but in set 1, you're going to be hitting 50% of your stimulus for hypertrophy on the muscle. So again, let's just use squats, keep it the same. Your quads, you're hitting 50% of your stimulus on the first set, right? So to get the same amount of stimulus from this first set, you need to do another 5 sets, roughly. And so each set you do, it basically cuts it in half on the stimulus that you're going to get for hypertrophy. So set 2, you're going to get about 25% stimulus, this blue line here. You're going to get 25% stimulus. So 75 total after 2 sets. Set 3, 87.5%. Again, this is just a general rule of thumb. So in that third set, you're getting about 12.5% stimulus from that set. So you could do 3 sets and get close to 90% of your maximum hypertrophy stimulus for that muscle. And so that's why 3 sets is still really good, but some of you might be progressing too fast. So what can we do? Well, we can add in a 4th set. And then again, you're hitting about 93% of the hypertrophy for that muscle group. And then 5th set, 96, 97%, and then the 6th set, 99%, 98, 99%, right? And so you're still getting an extra 5 to 10% of hypertrophy by adding in these 4th, 5th, and 6th sets if you need them. And they're important if you're progressing too fast. And it's not that, this is very much dependent on the individual. And this is why customization is important. And again, it becomes that art form for the individual once they get to more intermediate to an advanced lifter as to what they can handle and what they can't handle. And so this is what we'll be looking at inside the advanced health program, where we can obviously control this for you and you can get a better understanding of what you need. So in terms of recovery, again, this is important because this comes down to that second way we can plateau, right? In training, recovery is important. So our work capacity, that's going to basically mean, do we need to do more sets? Do we need to do less sets? Right? If we can do more sets, we're going to get a little bit more hypertrophy gain. But in some cases, it could be too much for our work volume and what we're doing for our program, right? And then we also want to look at rest periods. So 3 minutes is is a short rest period if you're lifting heavy enough. Yeah. 3 to 5 minutes is complete rest, and that's what you'll be looking at. If you drop a rep on a set where you should have got 5 and you get 4, I'd recommend having 5 minutes rest. Yeah, really important. Then we have fatigue management. So this counts for rest days. So again, if you're not having days in between and you go and lift and you go nowhere near where you should be lifting, that's going to impact your performance, and impact performance is going to impact your results. Right? Then we want to look at maximum recoverable volume. So this is what I was looking at here in terms of getting limited on the progression because you've done too much work. Yeah. And then you've got maximum adaptable volume. So this is how much that you can actually do without, on paper, you're progressing too fast compared to what you actually can progress because you're going too quick, and that's the red line, right? So they're the two different things we're looking at. And then, of course, sleep is super, super important here. You want to be getting at least 8 hours. Sleep is where you grow. So make sure you recover here and you prioritize your sleep. So you stop staying up late watching YouTube videos or Netflix. All hail YouTube. Definitely watch YouTube videos. Watch this one, but don't watch it before bed. Make sure that you're prioritizing your sleep. Really important. Nutrition now. So calorie intakes, man, like a lot of people try and do this lean bulking thing, and it's really dumb, honestly. Like, you're going to gain a little bit of fat. It's okay. You're not going to die. But ideally, you want to be as lean as you possibly can. Some people are genetically leaner than other people, and you get probably close to 10%. But I find anything below 15%, you're going to be in a pretty good spot. And then you can just build from there, right? And you're most likely going to be putting on a little bit of body fat. And again, it's okay. You just got to get comfortable with that. It's just a mindset to break through. And just knowing that, if we're focusing on building muscle here, then we can get the weight off after. That's the easy part. Building muscle is so much harder than losing fat. And if you've got if you can get the weight down below 15%, you've already done it. Get that, get into a position where you can build muscle. You can't grow from nothing. So get the calories in, make sure you're eating. Macros. Protein's the most important, 2 grams per kilo body weight. Get it in you. It doesn't really matter when, just if you're consistently getting that every day, you're going to be fine. Carbohydrates, this one's going to be a little bit different for the individual. Now, obviously, being a gut health program, we're looking at optimizing the gut, getting rid of any opportunistic pathogens and things like that. So this is going to be on the lower side for someone that has a healthy gut, right? Doesn't have any opportunistic pathogen, or depending on how they feel. So some people feel better on high fats, some people feel better on high carbohydrates. But again, if you got the gut issues, if you've got some kind of opportunistic pathogen or overgrowth, then we want to be going around 2 grams per kilo body weight. Go a little bit higher if you need to, depending on how you're feeling. And then obviously, if you've got issues digesting fat, we can support that with certain foods or some supplements as well to get you through that. Then pre-workout and post-workout nutrition. This has to do with your muscle glycogen stores. So this is basically to fuel your performance in the gym, right? And that's why pre-workout nutrition is so much more important in my opinion, because again, better performance equals better results. So you want to make sure that you're getting in enough before your workout. So an hour and 15, hour and a half before your workout, you can get your carbohydrates in. Right? Make sure you're getting enough in. Obviously, you can be limited again if you've got gut issues, but get some of your carbohydrates in, right? At this point, if you get most of them in, great. And then after your training session, if you've got some left, have them, but it's not as important as before, right? Obviously, if you can eat more carbohydrates, then you can easily get it in for both, but I'll be focusing on pre-workout. If you train first thing in the morning, you like to train fasted, well, yeah, you can, but I would prefer you to have, say, some raw and organic honey before your session, and that's going to help fill up your liver glycogen stores, and that should help you with your lifts and help you with performance, because again, that's the most important thing when it comes to strength training. Daily movement. So yeah, I did mention this at the start. Basically, we have a step target. We want to mitigate excess fat gain in the building phase. So yeah, we don't just want to go crazy, do a big dirty bulk and just eat KFC and don't move and just lift weights. That's pretty dumb, right? We really want to make sure that we're building lean muscle mass, and we're hitting a step target as well, not just for the fat loss, but not just for mitigating the fat gain. It's probably a better way to use it. But also just for health, because sitting equals death. I know it sounds silly, but we're not designed to sit behind a computer chair for 8 hours under artificial light and not moving, right? It's important that we move. It helps our lymphatic system, and it's going to help us feel better, getting out in nature, help us with blood flow, all that sort of stuff, mental health anyway, right? And so we definitely need to be doing that just for our body. It's like paying rent for having your body is moving. And so anywhere between 6,500 to 8,000 steps a day is more than enough in a building phase. You have to go crazy with this. Obviously, if you need to do more because your lifestyle depends on it, so be it. You probably just have to eat more calories. But that's just the way that is, right? And so that's why this does get a spot inside that hierarchy of importance when it comes to building muscle. So hopefully you found this one helpful. If you've got any questions, please comment below. And for those of you on YouTube, if you enjoy this video, let me know. Please like, subscribe, and comment below as well. See you in the next one.